Are we live? Yes. Okay. We're early this time.
For first. It's the first.
Yeah. So, welcome back. Trash Talk Live. This time we're going to be talking about Marvel's Luke Cage Netflix series. Are we going to bring people on this one, or are we just going to wait for the next one?
I don't know if I don't think much needs to be. We don't need to bring anyone on for this one, but we will for the next one, which is a Damian Lillard 3 Trash Talk, and that's going to be over on my channel. It's not that hard. We're going to put a link in the description here and in the chat room when we're switching over. All you guys got to do is click it, and boom, we're going to be doing a live chat on the D Lillard 3 because it leaked, and we're going to have people come on the show if they want to give their thoughts. But this one is about Luke Cage.
Somebody just commented that they're on episode 12. So if you have not watched all of the episodes, you might want to leave because there is going to be spoiler talk here. We're not going to hold anything back. Just a warning. And straight up with you guys. So,
but let me just say, like, even though there's going to be spoilers, I don't think.
Well, by the time, because it was this 13 episode.
I don't think it's going to be. There's not a spoiler in here that's going to like ruin the show for you. I don't think.
True, but just a warning though. Like, we're going to be talking about everything. So, with one episode left, the way that the series ended, I don't think you're going to be missing out. So,
yeah,
you know what I mean. So, we're going to go ahead and get started. Let me know what you think, because you have not been a big fan of any of these Marvel Netflix series except for maybe Jessica Jones.
No, I liked the first season of Daredevil.
Okay.
I didn't like the second season. It was really hard for me to finish. I don't even think I finished it. I was like the last couple episodes, and I didn't finish it. I don't think
you did. So
Jessica Jones, though, I adored. I thought I was on the edge of my seat almost every episode. Yeah, look, some TV shows, every TV show is going to have like 5 or 10 minutes every other episode where you're kind of like, oh, come on. That's every TV show. But for the main overall story arc and the through line, I was totally engaged. I thought all the performances in Jessica Jones were like good acting, with the exception of the one cop dude. But, you know, Daredevil, there's a bunch of corny crap in that. And in this Luke Cage, man, I have to say, man, it's the corniest of the three, but I think it was kind of on purpose. I think it was kind of on purpose. What do you think?
See, that's the thing, is that I have a weird kind of like thought with this, because this show started off so strong to me, and then it like totally like went like super down about like halfway through, where I was kind of like, what the hell? Like, did somebody else like make the last half of the season? And then the way that it wrapped everything up, I was happy and then not happy, but for like two totally different reasons. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then some of the stuff, the character buildups that they did, the thing with Misty Knight especially, that one really irked me, because I was like, they teased the arm so hard, dude, and like I was just like, it's like, oh shit, she's gonna get her robotic arm and all this shit, and then nothing ever happened, and like I was just like, what? So it was just it's a series that I would say, like, if I'm gonna rank them, to me personally, Daredevil season 1 and 2 are together for me at first, because it's the most like comic booky, and then I would have to probably, I would have to say the first half of Luke Cage next, but then the second half of Jessica Jones beats all of Luke Cage to me.
Right. Well, okay, here's the thing. Luke Cage's advertisement was just the most amazing thing ever. Hey, all the episodes are star titles.
Is beat.
Look at this trailer where we're playing rap music and he's just walking through dudes. Like, it was so amazing, and I thought it was going to be totally like, whoa, like I hyped things up, but for the first time, like, they hyped it up for me. I was like, oh my God, this is going to be crazy. And then I started watching it, and I liked the first half, but I didn't like it as much as you. But the reason why I liked the first half wasn't because of the show. It was because it was totally playing off, hey, this is a modern day blaxploitation style film. It has rap music. It's in New York. They're talking about basketball. These are all things I love. So that's why I liked it. But if someone came up to me and said, yeah, that Luke Cage is terrible, I would have been like, I see where you're coming from. But those are the same people who don't like the things that I just listed.
Well, that's the thing, though, is that the way that they started the whole thing off was so cool to me. Like, it felt like almost like Barbershop, the movie, but with, you know, like real shit in it, like real life stuff. Because they just started talking like you said, basketball, like actual basketball.
Yeah,
and that's one of the things
too.
Yeah, like it's to date, like right now in our world. That's probably the thing that I like the most about all of the Netflix shows is that they're able to somehow take these weird characters and put them in our world. Where like when we watch the Avengers, I don't feel like they're in our world really. You know what I mean? Even though they are. So, but yeah, so I really like that, and then I really enjoyed how subtle the comic book stuff was. Because it was kind of like a little bit, I'm not going to compare it to Nolan's style of making, but you know how like the Batman Nolan trilogy was movies with a superhero in it instead of superhero movies? That's how this show felt to start, where it was just a good show with a super strong, unbreakable dude in it. So,
see, look, it's someone on Instagram said in a comment on our Luke Cage thing said, this is one of the most horribly written shows I've ever had the displeasure of watching. And here's the thing, like, I totally get it. I'm not sure it was the writing. I can't tell what the show, how serious it was or not serious, because it seemed really serious. And then there were other times where I was like, are you serious? You know, like, because I mentioned earlier, it totally plays off blaxploitation. This show is so black, and I don't like, it's just so. If you've ever watched blaxploitation, like Super Duper Fly, Black Belt Jones, Shaft in Africa, especially Shaft, this show, oh my God, Sheba Baby, Cleopatra Jones, all of these movies, Black Belt Jones, all of these movies are like the family of Luke Cage, because it's like, it's so corny, because there's one in the first half of the show, Misty Knight she goes to this, criminal guy. She goes, your record got so many hits, your rap sheet could make a rap or make a hit or something. And I'm like, that's so 70s. Freaking Pam Grier would totally say that. And, you know, even like Luke Cage, I couldn't, like the way he just was so like Shaft, just kind of walking through. And then I know it's from the comics, the Sweet Sister and Sweet Christmas. I would have been okay if he said it once, but every other time he said it, I felt like they're just forcing that one.
No, I love the Sweet Christmas.
You liked it? I thought they forced it. I didn't buy it, because the first time he said it, he was getting blown up. So I was like, oh, maybe. And then every other time.
The thing is, though, is that some of the stuff, I feel like it was so subtle that none of it clicked for me until like it clicked. You know what I mean? Like the doctor that was his wife. I didn't realize that was his wife from Jessica Jones. You know what I mean? Like,
really?
Yeah, like I just totally didn't. Then all of a sudden I realized, oh, like I don't even know what I was thinking.
Right.
And so it's just like, and I was like that throughout the whole series, because I feel like it was so subtle. Nothing was quite like in your face. You know what I mean? So
what did you think of the Luke Cage, the guy who played Luke Cage? I forget his name, but what do you think of?
Yeah, I don't know the actor or his name or anything, but I thought that he did good. For some reason, when I read the comics, I read Luke Cage almost as if the way that Cyborg is portrayed in the animated like Titan stuff, like, you know what I mean, like
charismatic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's a little bit more up.
Not that Luke Cage is a grumpy old dude that's a dick, but I get what you mean. Kind of like, he almost has you're fun
feeling, like his skin is unbreakable, so now all of his nerves are just like he's gotten, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you. I think that's directing, because
maybe
he had charm in Jessica Jones, if I remember correctly. Like, I was like, this guy's cool. You're right. rides a motorcycle. This is great. And then in this, he just kind of felt stale, like a stale chip. That chip, like that salt and vinegar chip, you know, was good 20 minutes ago, but then it's stale. It's something was missing for me with him. But again, if I didn't love Shaft, blaxploitation film, New York, rap, all this crap,
well, see,
I would have hated this show.
Yeah, see, the ending of the show is what I thought was the most.
Well, dude, spoilers. When they killed Cottonmouth, I was like, what is going on?
I was a little bit mad at that because that was my favorite character in the show. I don't even know why I liked him so much. He was just, especially, see, I feel like this show developed these characters really well. That's the one thing that they took their time with, like with all of these flashbacks. I love the flashbacks in this one, where I didn't really enjoy the flashbacks between Daredevil and Elektra. You know what I mean? So, and then some of the flashbacks in Jessica Jones are just kind of creepy. And so it's like this one, I really liked how they told the stories and stuff. And I like how everybody in this city of Harlem is connected somehow, because that's real. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's
I get that. But I really think this show was hurt by really poor direction, because directors are there for really the details, making sure the audience believes and it has the least amount of flaws. You know, everything's going to have plot holes or whatever, but you know, directors are really there to take the script and make it into reality. And there was just some things in here that I didn't buy. First of all, that was like the cleanest Harlem precinct I've ever seen. Okay, so you could totally tell they rented out a business, a vacant business building office, and we're like, here's the Harlem precinct. It had no character. New York police precincts in basically every form of media, shows, movies, whatever, always have somewhat of a character to them. You could tell that they're these old places and all these characters are coming in and out. You know, all the criminals and the cops are always characters. There was none of that. It felt so stale. And I know this is a nitpicky thing, but you know, this is just how I feel. And the attention to details. And then also one thing that really bothered me was the Misty Knight character. But before I just she totally destroy her. You? Oh yeah,
I like her. She was cute as hell too, man. That
okay, but she's cute. But what? Why did you like her?
I don't know. I just something about her. I just liked her.
To me, she was the worst detective ever. The worst. Because
well, hold on. Before you go off on that, that was one of my things that I didn't like, is how dumb the good cops were. You know what
everyone
I mean?
was dumb in this.
Yeah, like it's like he straight up saved you, and you're still like, well, I gotta bring you in. You know what I mean? It's just like
everyone was so dumb. It made nothing connected.
Yeah, it was
like a connected dots
weird.
That didn't connect. It was because Misty Knight.
You know, at least with Batman, when he's hunted by the police, you still have that group of cops that's like, yeah, dude, we're on your side, right? Yeah. They only had one cop that was like that. That one dude that caught him in the alley. And like I was just like
but even then I felt like his finger was on that trigger, like,
well, it's because he's scared. So
no,
it's
I
like,
know, but
the thing, like half of it's believable, but some of it's like, so like, really, you're not going to give this dude a chance when he just saved you?
And like,
that's crazy.
You know what? I blame Misty Knight because she's like the worst detective. She didn't give one piece of concrete evidence. Everything about her investigation was, this smells bad.
Yeah, no,
something just doesn't add up. I really think this might not be the case. That's not detective work. You can't just do that.
That was something too, though, is that half of her was visually seeing things as if she had powers. And
then, that was weird. It didn't work for me, but yeah.
Well, at first, I was like, really? Is this new? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I thought that maybe that was going to be like, she was going to be like a metahuman or something, but nothing ever came of it. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean by like, they built certain things up to a point, and then like when they built up Cottonmouth and then they got rid of him, I was like, why did you tell us all this about him, dude? Like, this dude was a guy that I really liked, being like, yo, this guy was in a fucked up situation, and he was you know what I mean?
He was the most satisfying character to me. I felt like he was the best actor out of all these people. But like, nothing made any sense. And look, Misty Knight, it's great that I'm getting elongated shots of you staring at a fucking wall, but it's really getting annoying after like the second time I see you do it, because she looks at it and you could tell on her face that she still doesn't know what she's doing. Like she's like, oh look, there's Misty Knight looking at the wall again, her partner. And you know, it didn't have the fit, like, oh, that's what happened. She just stared. And then another thing, the skirt was clearly dirty, but she was like, no. And
it was weird though, because it's like, why can't you see that? You know what I'm saying? But you see stuff that's not in front of you.
Exactly. This is my problems with the character. It's like, oh, and here's the thing, like her lieutenant was like, you're a great detective. I believe you. I trust you. But all she does is fuck up. She can't see that her partner was dirty as hell, but she has these weird visualizing, put yourself in the VR headset, whatever. You know, her character, I really couldn't stand it. It was just so, and then actually, I take it back. Cottonmouth wasn't my favorite. Claire is my favorite because, you know, she's great in everything. And Rosario Temple. Rosario Dawson is like the realist. She's a real actor who's done movies. She's been around. You know what I mean?
Anytime she's in, I didn't like that they got together, her and Cage. But other than that, I love her in all of these series. I think she's so cool.
Right. So, but then Misty Knight starts choking out Claire Temple for literally like doing nothing. She didn't. And I'm like, so how are you a good cop? I don't get it. And there was all this talk about Misty Knight. She's a good cop. And even Misty Knight herself was like, I see right through all the bullshit when she's getting counseled by that Infernal Affairs guy.
No, and then she gets played. Like I was just like, what?
I felt like she was lying to me. You're a liar. You're not a good detective because you got played, girl.
It was so weird that she was so wishy-washy, because like with the new like head of police, that one chick that came in and replaced the other one, like, and she was just like, she was adamant being like, nah man, you got to bring Cage in. And like, it's like, bitch, this fool saved me 3 times. I even fucked the dude. He's cool, trust me. You know what I mean? Like, it's all good. Like, I don't understand why she didn't stand up for that side when she was like, so like, oh, she protected the guy that was clearly corrupt. Yeah, it was just so
flawed character.
It was so weird to me that, and so these little things were a little jarring. And then
so
and then I did not like at all, and maybe they did this on purpose, but I did not like Cottonmouth's cousin, that chick that was in Desperate Housewives.
No, I think okay. So wait, why don't you like her?
Well, for one, she had really bad acting in this one. Like, it's like, I don't normally notice bad acting because I'm not an actor, but that was pretty bad. And then on top of that, she was a fucking snake, dude. Like, I just didn't like that chick.
Okay,
like,
so part of you hates her for the reasons the director wanted you to hate her. You're supposed to hate that character.
No, I know. That's the thing, is that like
bad acting.
Yeah, some of it was, I was just like, I don't see how anybody in this show believes you right now.
She was weird, and I felt like her acting was okay, but really bad when she would yell.
It was half and half. Like, that's the weirdest part. Some of these actors were so good at certain points, and then other times they were so, like you're saying, cheesy almost, and I'm just like, what happened?
Well, what was that when she was like biting Shade's lips at the end? I don't even I was like, did he like that, or did he not? I couldn't tell. He literally didn't react whatsoever. He didn't.
Shades is another one that I did like, though. I liked his character.
Yeah, he was decent.
Although I didn't like how that lady called him like, oh, who's the white guy back there? But he wasn't white. Like, I was just like, why is he white if he's light skinned? Like, I was like, what? You know what I mean? So it was just weird.
So my main issue with Luke Cage is we're talking about it, and we are agreeing that some things are corny, but I can't tell if it meant to be corny.
That's what I'm saying. So, and it's like,
weird, right? Because like I said earlier, blaxploitation is not serious. I mean, the titles in the movie, Black Belt Jones, that's a hilarious, it's a corny title. So I couldn't really tell if this show was being corny or not, because I felt like if they went, and I think the reason why we can't tell is because they went halfway with it. They were
That's
kind of scared of going full corniness, but I
That's what
felt
I'm
like
saying.
I felt like if they went full corny, it would have been like this fun, like, hey, this is cool, you
Well,
know?
because they could have played up a Shaft style.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Like where dude had swag and all that shit, and like
right.
you
He
know,
didn't have swag.
no, that's what
He's
I'm
the
saying. Like,
opposite.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he was so monotone where I was like, what's wrong? Like I was
Yeah.
like, this guy is so fun in the comic books. You know what I mean? Like it's just weird to see that. Like especially like when you think about what they're doing with this, like he's supposed to be teamed up with Danny Rand, and they threw in so many like over the head hits with the whole like, oh, you should be getting paid for this. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like for the hero for hire thing. And I was just like, just do it. Like I was
Yeah,
like,
no.
come on. Like,
Yeah.
why do you keep teasing it? And
Right.
then you're not fulfilling any of the stuff that you're dangling in front of me. That was the part that I really just was annoyed with. Like that with the Misty Knight thing, the arm, everything. Like I was like, if you're gonna tease comic book stuff, like put the comic book stuff in there. We're not afraid of this. We just
Yeah.
watched Daredevil. We just
Yeah.
watched Jessica Jones.
Yeah. And I was excited for this show because I remember looking at the IMDb cast and reading all of these characters that were on The Wire. And I love The Wire. And I'm like, oh my God, it's going to be like The Wire with a superhero. Holy crap. It's going to be in Harlem. It's going to be so hood. It's going to be violent. And it's going to be amazing. It wasn't as gritty as I thought it was going to be. In fact, I
No.
think it wasn't gritty at all.
That's
There
the thing
was
is that some of the violence in it was like,
it was
like I was
whatever.
like, yeah,
But
yeah, it was just like a lot
not
of
just the
gunshots.
violence, but the grit. Like I wanted to see him go. There should have been an episode where he had to start from the bottom of a project building and go to
Oh,
the top, old
that's
school,
that's what
enter
I
the
thought.
dragon.
No, that's what I thought when he entered into the compound where all the money was at. I
Right.
thought it was going to be something sick
And
like
right.
that.
And if you saw that trailer with old Dirty Bastard song in the background, you saw that scene. That's the entire scene.
Yeah, basically. So
Pretty much, except he throws a couch in the show. But they should have had him start.
some of the funniest stuff with him, though, I will say, with him displaying his powers, was when he would flick or slap somebody.
Oh yeah, but that
I would fucking lose it.
that reminded me of. I was like, they went full corny with that.
Well,
they're like, yeah, just go up and slap his on him on the head, and he'll knock the f out. I felt like they committed.
The funniest part was the guy that was getting knocked out. Like he'd like straight like, oh, and
Yeah.
then he'd fall. And I was like,
Yeah.
what?
They went 100%. They commit. See, that's what I'm talking about. They committed to that aspect. They're like, yeah, you literally flick people in the face, and they are unconscious.
What did you think about Method Man, his appearance, and his freestyle? Because I thought that was actually an okay thing to put in there. I thought it was pretty cool.
I loved the freestyle. I thought it was correct, and that to me, I felt like this show had a lot to say, but I thought the director did a terrible job of doing it because I didn't get the whole, hey, it's a black guy in a hoodie a la Trayvon Martin. You remember that? All of these things that's happening in our world.
That's the thing, though. That's the part of the ending that I absolutely love is that they threw it in your face like, yo, something fucked up is happening for real, for real.
Right. No.
So let's address the issue. And I thought that it was really great that they did that.
No, I agree with you, but I felt like they missed the ball and they could have hit it harder, and they should have made it more grittier because Luke Cage was wearing his hood the entire show, and it was the idea of a bulletproof I'm not going to say it the way they say it in the show, obviously, but the idea of a bulletproof black guy and how that would change the social, how that would change that particular community and just the dynamic of a bulletproof black dude. And but you would instantly think, oh, he would go rob people and he would do it for money. But in reality, Luke Cage is not that guy, and he would be doing it around. They didn't play it off it enough. I felt like it was a missed opportunity.
See, that's the thing, though, is that I felt all of what they were doing. I loved it. I loved the Trayvon tribute. I loved that they were saying that if there was a black guy that was bulletproof, guess what? He's not a bad guy. You know what I mean? Like all of these cops are just automatically being like, oh, they're like, you could hear him on the walkie-talkie thing being like, black guy, he's dangerous, sort of all this shit. And it's just like, to me, like, especially being placed in the hood, that was like, to me, it was perfect.
No, but
the actual story fell apart. So,
no, but imagine if Luke Cage was like, "Hey, I got these powers. I'm gonna go steal all these drugs from these people from these guys' stash house," and he goes and does that, and then the media and the cops think that it's just a black dude. They get the information. Oh yeah, it was a black dude who came in. They get the information. They're like, "Oh, it's a black dude stealing all the drugs," instead of actually being like, "No, he destroyed all the drugs. He took away the drugs." And I felt like they should have. I get it. I get what they did do work for you, but I thought they could have went a lot deeper, because it would have been perfect, especially for what the country's going through right now.
Well,
and my favorite scene was when he got.
People are so sensitive.
No,
especially with the topics. You know what I mean? Where like, I was surprised that they did do the shooting with the hoodie on, because you know, some people could have, like, dude, there was people offended that the N-word was dropped so many times. I'm like, have you never been in like a community
movie?
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, I was just like, you know, they're just trying to keep it real, like, you know what I mean? So it's like, I didn't understand what the problem was. So I think that they were trying to borderline it to where they weren't.
No, I get it's Marvel. I mean,
yeah.
Well, I mean, most of what we're asking for is impossible. But my favorite scene was when he did get stopped by the cops, and he was like, "What for what?" And then, you know, the cops were scared, and they're like, "Oh my God, it's Luke Cage." But another really big issue I had with the show, there's two actually. One, for like 3 episodes, Luke Cage didn't do shit. Yeah. He was injured, and I was like, I get it, that's part of the story, but come on, wrap this up. The show is called Luke Cage, and I don't want to see him groaning for 3 full episodes, dude.
Was this the one where they treated him like a piece of bacon and they put him in the...
I was fine with that, but the events leading up to it, they could have condensed it into 1.5 episodes, not 3 full episodes where he couldn't do. He was sick, basically. Yeah. And then my biggest problem with Luke Cage, minus Misty Knight, is I get it. It's a Netflix show, and you can watch all the episodes, but every goddamn episode left on such a egregious cliffhanger that it really bugged me. I was like,
the thing is that I binged the shit out of this show more than any other Netflix show, because of the way that they left every episode off, where I was like, what happens?
No, exactly. And it's so jarring. You don't, to me, that shows me a show's and a director's weakness, because it shows me that you can't make each episode its own identity. And when you give each episode a name from a Gangstar song, it feels like, oh, so each episode's gonna have a character, a theme, because like every song has a theme and a story mostly. So I thought I was gonna have every episode every great show, you could just watch 1 episode and be satisfied, and then you watch all the episodes and really be satisfied. But with Luke Cage, I can't say that. I can't say you can just watch 1 episode and be like, yeah, that we couldn't. I bet you we couldn't right now if we could be like, hey, remember that episode where this, and we'd be confused as to when and where that happened.
That's the thing, is that it's all a blur. What I would recommend is watch until they kill Cottonmouth and stop watching.
So, that's a good but see, that's the thing. But even the Cottonmouth thing was on a total cliffhanger, and I was like, well, I guess I gotta watch the next one.
Well, even then, the death of Cottonmouth was so quick that I was just like, what the fuck? Like, you couldn't have that dude. Like, he was the baddest of the bad, you know what I mean? Like, he ran the show, and he just got stomped out like that, like nothing. Like, I was just like, what the hell? It's just so weird. Like, you know how when they killed the Purple Man and Jessica Jones, it took them the whole season.
Right.
You know what I mean? The actual kill was very quick. Yeah.
There was no payoff here.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Like, with Diamondback, with the cousin.
I didn't even like Diamondback. Like, I just thought
he was terrible.
Yeah, I thought that everything about him was just way off. Like,
I got one word for that dude, or it's a hyphenated word: overacting. Oh my God, guy!
That's what I'm saying, though, is that I couldn't tell at that point of the show what was going on. Like, I was just like, what is this? So
yeah, and I liked how he only had 3 Judas bullets, but he had all the money for all the other bullets, and I was like,
well, that's
just use the other bullets then.
Yeah, if they had all the mini ones, why wouldn't
Yeah,
you just start spraying
use
them?
those bullets. Yeah, I don't understand. But then he put on the power pack thing, and I was like,
Oh, that
I was
was
like, it was just so weird.
that was bad too. Like the ending fight could have been so dope, but then it just kind of wasn't. And then they had an audience like Spider-Man, like, and I'm like that's always corny when people are standing on the sidelines. You know what I mean? Like cheering.
To me, the reason why they had the people on sidelines was because they wanted it to feel like a Harlem street fight, you know.
No, I know, and
And I get it, but I
especially
get why it wouldn't work for people.
that's the thing though, is especially now, like that's kind of what happens. Like, oh, world star, you know what I mean? Like
And there was no that fight was just
yeah, it was just a lot of punching, and then
it wasn't anything.
and then the dude just let him hit him until he wore the
Yeah.
battery out, and like I was just
I
like,
looked away. I was watching that episode. I looked away for like 2 seconds to grab something from like a bowl that I was eating,
mhm.
and he had Diamondback pinned, so I had to rewatch it. I was like, what happened? And then I watched it again, and I still didn't understand what happened.
Yeah,
It just
I feel
happened.
like the fight scene between him and Shades and those other guys in the pen, that was dope. Like those were really cool.
Even when Shades was getting choked out in
Mhm.
the elevator, like that
Shades-
was a little bit better.
Shades was a G, dude. I like that guy.
Yeah, Shades was good. I will say there were some cool things. You talked about it earlier, him slapping dudes on the head. Totally funny. But how about that when he was in the Chinese restaurant and the dude punched him and his arm just broke?
That's the
I
thing.
thought that was dope.
That's what I'm saying. Where things started so strong, where that's what I thought the whole.
Yeah. When that happened, I was like, whoa.
Yeah, could you imagine slow-mos of dudes coming at him with a crowbar and the crowbar bending over his head or something cool, you know what I mean? Like a bat shattering, but they only did it the one time.
Yeah, the one time. That was it.
Like, man, that's crazy. So, you know, like they could have torched him like with blow torches or do something.
Yeah. I like the Luke Cage shakedown. I didn't like the Luke Cage defending himself getting attacked. I like the shakedown when Luke Cage would go there and shake people down. The Method Man scene. He went in, pop, pop, pop. You know, I love that. I love the one where he throws the guy in the dumpster and is.
Oh, that was sick.
That was cool. And he's like, there's food in there. You know, I like that. I liked the Chinese restaurant scene. I liked all that. I didn't like when he would just get. And dude, another thing, why do people just keep. I know they said it. Ain't he bulletproof? Then why the hell are y'all shooting him? Yeah. It makes no sense. Well, no sense.
They do that with Superman though, so I'll give it a pass.
That's true. They do it with Superman.
And everybody knows that Superman's everything proof. You know what I mean? So it's like whatever. But yeah, it was such a weird. It had like its like ups and downs, like all throughout the whole thing, where like you can. I bet you somebody on YouTube can take the whole series, chop it up into something smaller and tighter, and it would be so sick. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing for me. I think that Luke Cage had a story that would have been better in a movie, and they stretched it out 13 episodes.
Definitely, and on
especially with the killing of Cottonmouth, that's like a movie type thing. Oh, it's actually this is the bad guy.
Well, I feel like that this should have, even though I understand why they made him solo, because you want to give him and his area of Harlem time to shine, but I do feel like him and Danny Rand complement each other so well in the comic books that this should have been a Heroes for Hire, not, you know what I mean? Because now I'm worried about what Iron Fist is going to be like by himself. You know what I mean? Like a stoner surfer white guy that gets enlightened. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I'm just like, what is that going to be like?
Look, I mean, I feel like I didn't hate Luke Cage. I don't think you did either. But I definitely think
it could have been.
It was not what I was expecting.
Yeah.
And I think that there was a lot of things that took me out of the show. I'm just simple. Like there was a lot of things where I was just like, what? No. And a lot of things didn't work. You mentioned earlier you didn't like how Claire and Luke got together. I bought the relationship, and I was like, oh yeah, they are a cool couple.
The only reason why though is because I know that him and Jessica Jones in the comic books get together and they have a baby.
So a continuity problem. Okay, I get that. I fully understand that. Yeah. But remember when they the thing we talked about, how they didn't commit to corniness, they did commit to a really corny line where he was like, oh, it depends on the blend, and I hear Cuban is particularly robust, and Claire Temple's all like, that might be the corniest thing you said. I actually laughed at that. Well, where the other jokes in the show, I didn't laugh at it, but you know, yeah, I thought Luke Cage, at the end of the day, I would say that if you don't like, you know, blaxploitation films, that style, hip hop, you know, the Harlem setting, if that doesn't draw you, I would say you wouldn't like this show. But or comic books, obviously. But if you like any of those things I just said, it could just even be one. Hip hop, you're gonna like it. If you like, you know, stories that takes place in underprivileged communities like Harlem, you're gonna like it. If you like blaxploitation, especially, you're gonna like this because it really is a callback to that. But on a scale of 1 to 10, if I was a teacher and Luke Cage was a student and he turned in his final exam, and I would have to give him a 65. I just couldn't be like,
isn't that like a D though?
It is a D. I would have been like, I like you as a kid, but I can't pass you. I just can't. I can't pass it as a good show. I can't do it. But I like the kid. Okay, it's not.
Yeah.
I like the show.
I understand what you're saying.
It's a good show.
I would say
it's like Good Burger. I love Good Burger. It's a terrible movie, but I love Good Burger.
No, I guess I would have to agree is that I would give it about a 50% because half of it I liked, half of it was just kind of like, I don't know.
Which is disappointing because coming in, I was like, yo, Luke Cage, oh my God, it's going to be like The Wire. I was so stoked.
He just wasn't quite what I remember reading. You know what I mean? Like I said, like even in like when he's in the Avengers and all that stuff, like he's a super dope character, and he was only super dope half the time in the show. Half the time he was very blah. So
blah is a great word. Some people in the chat says I think a strong 7, maybe a light 8 out of 10.
Well, see, to me though, that's 7s are awesome. Like that's an awesome shoe. 8, 9, 10, like that's like a great shoe. You know what I mean? So like for this, like I can't give it a 7.
What would be the shoe comparison of Luke Cage? I got one. Remember those pennies you got in the pack, and they were just so bad on court? They came in a pack. They had 3M. It was white, red, and black. Mainly white and silver, and they had a little bit of black, and they just hurt your feet.
Are you talking about those penny posit things?
Yeah.
The little penny posits?
Yeah, little penny posits. Luke Cage is a little penny posit because you're like, yeah, penny, little penny. Okay, and they looked cool, and then you put them on. You're like, yo, these, no.
Yeah,
no.
I guess I would call it that because I was going to say like the Wade 3. Like it was like a dope looking shoe. But boy, them things hurt. So you know what I mean? So
so it's like a shoe that like, oh, it looks cool, and then it's not like maybe like the Kobe 7. Oh man, it looks great. Put it on. Oh, no, I'm never wearing these again.
Definitely Kobe 7. Like that's for sure. So, but yeah, no, it was great getting the throwbacks. It was great with all the Easter eggs. You know, but like I said, I think that it might have been a little bit cooler had it have been an Iron Fist and Luke Cage thing, rather than just drawing out this really long Luke Cage thing. Because like I think that's the main thing, is that like a good hero story is only as good as its villain, and a lot of the A-list heroes, they have amazing villains. You know what I mean? Where the villain kind of takes over the story almost. And these smaller characters, they really don't. Like they just, you know, especially street level characters, like they just don't have the same kind of impact. Like even the Hand with Daredevil doesn't have the same kind of impact as a single Green Goblin. You know what I mean? So
but Jessica Jones still has the best villain.
That's the thing though, is that villain I loved. Like I thought that he was like,
you like him better than Loki.
He reminds me of a Joker Loki mix. Like the dude's just a nut job.
Joker.
Yeah.
If Joker could have one power, it would be Kilgrave's power. It honestly would.
Exactly.
It wouldn't be like, oh, I wish I was Superman. He would be like, no, I wish I could make you do. Well, actually, I don't know, because Joker, he likes making you do things Oh no, yeah, you're right. Likes making you do things against your will, and it would, but see, Joker likes the challenge in it too, as
Yeah,
well.
that's the thing though. So like the mentality is Joker, the chaotic, but
Right.
then the mischief side is Loki.
Right. So you think Joker would take those powers because he enjoys the hard work to make you do
Um,
something against your will?
you know, I don't know. I feel like he would be able to manipulate those powers in a way to where
No, he would. He would
you
put
would.
it to good use, but
That's what
it
I'm
would take
saying.
out the enjoyment. You
No,
know.
I think he'd be able to figure out a way for him to
Okay,
enjoy
maybe,
it.
yeah.
That's what I'm
But
saying.
totally, he would totally. He would
Especially
totally.
since you're completely conscious of what's happening, and that would just he would love that.
What would happen if Kilgrave met Professor X? What would happen? Would they just like explode?
Professor X is like a level, like what do they call it? Like a level 10 or some shit. Like he's like he's like the most powerful mutant, like one of them. So
So
yeah, Kilgrave instantly, like if he wanted, he would just freeze him. Like there's no, it's different.
Kilgrave would freeze Professor, or
No, Professor would freeze Kilgrave.
But what if the Professor was reading his mind and Kilgrave's mind was making? See, I'm confused here now because his mind
it could be a nice, yeah, it could be a nice little paradox, but
it'd be like they would just warp.
The professor's mind is so strong. Yeah,
no, I
the
get
professor's mind is so strong that I feel like he'd, you know what I mean? No contest.
But Apocalypse did almost screw him up.
Apocalypse, we don't even know how many mutant powers he had absorbed up until that point. So we don't know what the hell he had in him other than what they showed in the beginning with him taking the self-healing guy's powers. So who knows?
All right. Well, that was our Luke Cage thoughts, I guess.
Yep.
So hope you guys enjoyed that. But now we're going to go over and switch to my channel where we're going to talk about the Adidas D Lillard 3 that leaked. It's a hot subject because, oh boy. But if you were interested into seeing that video, I'm going to put the link in the chat room right now. All you got to do is click it and boom, you'll be there. And we're going to be live in just a second. So boom, I just sent it out. Oh, I actually can't send out.
Can you not do it?
It says message not sent. Any web addresses.
Oh,
any web addresses.
Oh, that's weird. Do you think I could do it?
Yeah, you could do it for sure, I think. Here, I'll text it to you or email it to you. Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, Adidas D Lillard 3 Trash Talk on my channel. We're going to go live in like a couple minutes now. So I'll see you guys there.
Did you email a thing to me?
I did.
Where is it? Oh, there it is.
Did you end this one?
Not yet, because I need to put in the... Okay. Okay, guys, go over to Jaron's channel. Just put the link in the description, or not in the description, in the chat, and we'll see you guys there. Peace.
Peace.